So my name is Eddy Lilly. I'm an Interpol IP crime investigator and a financial crime expert. And I'm also the owner of 45th PPDR, it's a cybersecurity company, and Geek Council Ltd.
I am Lily Binglo, and I am Mrs. Yonka as well. Dr. Mrs. Yonka. It became official. That was July 17.
We went to kindergarten together, primary school. Now then came the time we had to go to secondary school. So we separated.
I went to Our Lady of Lourdes Secondary School and he went to St. Augustine's. And that was it, really. Like, our paths didn't even cross at all throughout all these years. Edwin said one time he saw me at Aruna, but I did not see him, thank God.
Since then, we have never reconnected. Now, our reconnection only happened 30 years later, right? So think about it, 30 years later, we had explored life beautifully. Explored life, we had explored life, we had learned from our mistakes and stuff like that.
To think of the fact that, all these years, right, God ensured that we never cross paths too soon, because the work that he had to do in us had to take place. And so when we reconnected so many years later, we had become these people that we are, people who are very aware of who they are, people with a very clear sense of purpose, people who understand their role in their community and the world at large, people who had encountered God and were committed to a walk with God, a walk of obedience. And it's not every day that you meet someone from your past that you have so much in common. Not many people, right? A lot of people, you meet them, the only thing you share with them is childhood memories. And it's funny because we probably just talked about our childhood memories once, but we all had so much going on for us that we aligned in so many ways.
Meeting after 30 years, we met as just reconnected as good friends. So we built some friendship for a year. We built a powerful friendship for a year, and just as friends though.
Him and his profession that, working with Interpol and being a business owner as well. I always say I think Edwin has 64 hours a day, because I don't understand how one person can be as productive as he is. But there was just so much that we could talk about. Now, however, none of us was interested in being in a relationship at all. And so when we reconnected, we built such a beautiful friendship of support, like just genuine friendship. So we never came to each other trying to, so Edwin was giving me all his belang. It was just really genuine, supportive, loyal friendship that we built for over a year. And I'm sure many people will not know, but Edwin was so involved in, there was nothing I did that he wasn't involved in. And that was just from a friendly perspective. Literally, nobody was thinking about anything like trying to be in a relationship. From my graduation with my doctoral degree, he was one that was like really pushing me at some point when I'd given up. With even with my TEDx, like he was the one that would read like everything that I wrote. Like we had that really amazing friendship where we could talk about anything, because we figured out who we are and we're very level-headed people. And there are things that I can talk about with him that I couldn't talk about with anybody else. And so thank God for that friendship, because we did not go into the friendship wanting to be with each other. And so none of us had to pretend to be somebody else. There was no expectation. He was not trying to wife me. I was not trying to become somebody's, it wasn't we were just friends that supported each other.
And one day we asked ourselves, why don't we take it further? Just friends for a year. We spent time to just, talk about, know each other again, the new version of each other. And we decided to just take it a step ahead.
To tell you how much we're each other's person, we're very big on meetings, right? So Edwin reaches out to me. It's been a year of us just building this amazing friendship, and he's like, we need to have a meeting. And of course, for every meeting we have an agenda. So we had 3 things on the agenda. 2 of them were about 2 of his companies, and then 1 of them was about me and him. And like I said, we are very much alike when it comes to structure. We like structure. Important conversations don't happen casually. And so we scheduled time for that, and we finished the first two. I was very busy. I'd been after graduation and a lot of things. And then we had the final meeting. And in that meeting, Edwin was like, it's been such an amazing time just having the kind of friendship we have and just being such a powerful support system for each other. And if I was open to taking things to the next level, he would really love it.
Well, our story, that's with Lily, is the most exciting story I've ever told. I still get some chills when I tell this story because it just reflects the power of faith.
And then we had the final meeting, and in that meeting, Edwin was like, it's been such an amazing time just having the kind of friendship we have and just being such a powerful support system for each other. And if I was open to taking things to the next level, he would really love it. I was like, okay, of course, it took me aback. And I said, you gotta give me a couple of days because I cannot just, when you're an intentional person, you just don't hop on and you just don't make decisions without taking the time to really pray about it, of course, and making sure that you're in the space for it. Because one of the things I do not do, I don't get into anything that I am not ready to see through to the end. And so Edwin was really sweet about it, and he was like, yeah, take your time. I'm sure he was dying of anxiety for like the next few years. Boy was sweating. And so after really praying about it and making sure that on my end I was ready for this level of commitment, I of course had my own meeting now, and I said, you know what, I think I'm ready. And it was like something shifted in both of us. It was like God there was this love. I think we already had that love for each other, but because our mindsets were not there, we never really thought about it. But it was just beautiful how our friendship, our love, our relationship just blossomed to a whole different level. And of course, it just went from one step to the next, to the next, to the next.
So we became like boyfriends and girlfriends and quotes, right? So we did it for some time, so some years.
You know me, I can talk and talk. I get real excited when I talk about us. And so of course the relationship is building. We ended up telling his mom, which was one of the best parts. And if you know Yaba, she's always wanted her son to marry someone from So. But since Oga is Mr. the whole world, I'm a citizen of the world, Oga was not very discriminatory. It's like, it's about finding your person, the right person. If God sends you the person, if they're not from So, what would you do? Which is true. Except this time, it was someone from So. And I think I had always told myself that if I had to do this again, I only want to get married to someone from my tribe. And I'm not trying to be biased. I think it's very beautiful to, find your person. It doesn't matter where they come from, and you can marry them and build an amazing life if that's where God wants you to be. But in recent years, I've been very involved in our cultural events, our conventions, and I have such an appreciation and such a passion for it where I kept telling myself, I would never want to be with someone where I have to explain to you what just happened. I want someone that can enjoy this with me. I want someone who can sit and just speak Lamso together. I may not know the Lamso very well, but when I speak, this is my own conjugated Lamso, we can understand it together and just have fun with that. And I think it was nice that God did send my person in every way.
Then, after some time, I was like, wow, this was getting serious. And I felt that I had found my person. Because the thing is that the version of Lily that I had found was just the kind of version that I was ready for. So anyways, I'll just go faster a little bit. So what happened was, after, dating for some time and building good friendship and everything, and Lily and I was transferred from Antalya to Nairobi. That was my new post. You see that? So I was transferred to Nairobi. And, Lily visited me in Nairobi. We, celebrated my new position and stuff like that.
if I want to skip forward now to the engagement, this is us. We're very clear about what we both wanted. And I think that was a good thing for us. None of us came into this not knowing that this was it. Like, we're very committed people, we're very intentional people, we're people that are led. Like, we just don't make decisions. He would seek the face of God. I would seek the face of God before I take a decision like that in my life. And so it has to be right. And so when we made that decision, I think we knew that this was it. Now, the engagement was what was so interesting, because of course there's all this travel, and now here we are in Kenya, as he has a lot of stuff going on in Kenya, and his companies are in Kenya as well.
So I took her to a famous restaurant in Nairobi called Carnivore. I mean, it's almost on the road to Mombasa, somewhere very far.
Carnivore. Just hear the name Carnivore. Carnivorous beans. People go there to go and chop beef. Yes, so we went to chop beef. So now, while we're there, remember, these guys were singing songs to people, like happy birthday songs, and it was so beautiful. And so he was like, oh, babe, since you're coming back for your birthday, I want to talk to the guys so that they can perform for you during your birthday. I'm like, okay, fine. That was December, because we spent Christmas together. That was December going into January. So we spent Christmas together, and so he's talking about it because I was supposed to be coming back in February, since that was January. I think we see each other every month. So this was going to be December, January, and I'll be back in February, which is, my birthday is February 1st. So end of January, entering February. So he's like, oh, I would love for them to sing for you during your birthday. And I'm like, okay, I like it too. He's like, let me go talk to them. I'm like, fine, but we can talk to them when we come back. He's like, well, let me go have a conversation with them first. So he goes, he talks to them. I'm like, okay. He asked me for his little purse that he's always carrying. That's where he's hiding the 5 million that he wants to give me that he has not told me about, no problem. But he's always holding that his purse. So that day he left without, and he comes and he grabs the purse. He's always holding that his purse. So he comes back and and so he sits down, and he's calm, but at the same time, I feel like he's agitated. But we're having a good time. So before I know it now, the guys are coming towards us. So I'm like, okay, why are the guys coming to us now? Right? Like, they're supposed to be performing for my birthday. What are they coming? He's like, no, I want them to come and sing the songs that they will sing for your birthday, so you can choose the one you like. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that's embarrassing. We're in a restaurant. These people are singing for people's birthdays. It's their birthday. They are coming to sing for me now in December. And what are they singing to me for? So it's like, no, don't worry, babe. When they sing the songs that they're going to sing for you, just choose the one you want. So far, I know these guys are singing congratulations to you. I'm like, okay, congratulations to me for what? I was like, oh snap, I just graduated. So it's probably the graduation thing. And then before I know it, Oga grabs me from the chair, and he's like all smiles from here to here. And he's going down on one knee, and the entire restaurant probably was waiting for that night. And it was such a beautiful surprise. No, let me not say it was a beautiful surprise. It was a beautiful gesture, but it was such a, I don't want to use the word surprise. I want to use a different word. It's not coming. There was something about the fact that first it wasn't planned on his end, because he did not know that those guys will even be in that restaurant. Let's start with that. But the fact that he took the ring with him, and it was like, in case there's an opportunity. And I just love how it played itself out. It was so beautiful how it played itself, and how he was able to take opportunity of that night and made it happen. It was so thought out. Ed is very intentional. One thing about him, he doesn't miss a detail. I mean, it's probably why he's in Interpol, many letters behind his name. But it was nice to just see the detail that went into it. Even the songs the guys sang, the choices of what they did. I mean, he went and had a whole conversation with them, and that was a beautiful surprise. That was a really beautiful surprise. I like to be in control of certain things. That was nice, not figuring out what was going to happen in that moment. I always feel like something like that you would know or you would suspect, but I had no idea, and I think that was beautiful. I should stop saying beautiful. I think that was fantastic, cocastic if you add, and gnostic.
And while we're there, I popped the question, honey, will you marry me? And that was just it. she was just, you know, she was just overwhelmed and things. I mean, she wasn't expecting that anyways. And it was a big yes came up.
Now, once the engagement happened, the first thing was, so what's next, right? Now we're engaged. What's next? We know we're gonna definitely get married. And what's beautiful is, you know, being someone who travels, he works all over the world. We knew already that we were not limited to a particular place, which I was very grateful for. And I like to travel. And so we knew that we were not too bothered about things like where are we gonna be settled and all of that. But we knew that we wanted to do it right off the bat, like not the thing where people get engaged for 5 years. We knew that we wanted to get it done. I was so big on wanting something small. I can promise you that. I was like, we'll do something in absentia, we'll do something very intimate. You know, I don't want too much noise. I don't want anything, like I just want it to be intimate. For me, it's about being with my person. And Edwin is amazing. He's very, very supportive. And he's like, babe, whatever you want, that's what we're doing. And Edwin's mom reached out to me, and I think that was, you know, that really just spoke volumes to me, melted my heart. And she said, you know, I have prayed for my son to meet a woman like you. She said, this is God's answer to me. And she said, I will respect your wishes if this is what you want. She said, but if you would just let me celebrate this. Let me celebrate what God has done. Let me celebrate this mighty testimony of God's goodness and faithfulness in my life. She's like, please, I would love that. And first of all, the honor was just incredible, because some other person would have been like, who are you to tell me how to celebrate my son's marriage? Yeah? But that moved me. And I think without hesitation, first of all, for all of us, of our 4 parents, right? She's the only one who is alive. And I said, this has to be everything. It's pretty much a party for her, and we're gonna do it. And just thinking of Edwin's mom, the love that she showed me from the get-go. And she said, you're not my daughter-in-law, you're my daughter. And that has been it. It's been that kind of love, and she has just loved on me. And from the get-go, she goes, your daughter is my grandchild. And this is not just words. This has been her showing that in every single way. And just so much to be grateful for, so much. I think about us, I think about our journey, I think about how far God has brought us and how God literally orchestrated everything, making sure that we did not meet and start, you know, coming off as if we wanted to be with each other. Otherwise, there would have been a lot of pretense or fakery. But we really just wanted to be friends, and ended up building something so incredible that has transformed to this amazing love story. And now I cannot wait to forever after with Mr. Yonka, my husband.
So after she gave me a yes, I was like, wow, it would be good to make it official. So I spoke to my family, and they arranged a knock door. We call it knock door in quotes, right? Like meeting the spouses, you know, family. We went for the knock door. It was amazing. It was great. Lita and I were together. You know, we were not there, but you know, our parents were there, and you know, they spoke in one voice. After speaking in one voice, they gave us a go ahead, right? So we took it for some time. You know, we just kept enjoying the relationship we were having and everything. Then we said, okay, now we have a knock door. What are we waiting for? I mean, you know, let's close the deal. So, you know, now we sat down together and we planned a day when we're gonna just tie the knot traditionally, right? And it was very important because, you know, tradition is the foundation of, you know, everything we do, right? Because that's our roots. So then that came that that came now the traditional wedding which we had in Cameroon, in Yaoundé, at the Fon's Palace.
In Guignam, the Fon of So, who is our king, he stepped into his fatherly role because I'm his daughter. And we met with him the day before the wedding, and there was this joy that he had. And he already just, you know when you talk to your daughter and I want you and your husband to be married. Well, no, he wasn't husband then, but he's like, this man that you've brought to me, make sure that you're a good woman to him. You know, I don't want anything to go wrong. I want to make sure that you guys are both happy. Make sure that you guys take care of each other. You know, I think just having to spend that time with him, just being his daughter, gave me the assurance going in the next day that no matter what was happening, my father was already receptive of this, if that makes sense. For those whom I know, my late dad, Binglo Hitler Humphrey, who's also a prince, is no longer alive, or I said late. And so this is his brother, but as a king, he's also my father. And I think, he made sure that I didn't have to feel the loss of my dad, of my biological dad, because he indeed stepped in and just covered. And so that was the first thing I have to say. Going to the palace and just being in my father's presence and hearing him talk to me and just being the dad that I needed, it gave me so much peace.
It was quite exciting. It was my first time to experience a traditional wedding like that, and with a princess, the Fawn's daughter. It was quite a privilege though, and at the same time, I was, listening to the Fawn, Lily's, Lily's father in particular, giving us advice on how to, love each other and stuff like that. It was just a moment that it was everything to me, I would say.
So now let's talk about all the stuff that happened the next day when we went. So as a woman, of course, I thought I was going to dress up before I went to the palace, but I didn't. So I had to go, I learned a lot about even the traditional process of it. I had to go and tie this wrapper. I'd made up my face, My sister was like, I did not want him to put anything on your face. Of course, the moment I sat down there, these aunties just carried this traditional stuff and covered my face with it, which for some reason I was so excited because I wanted to experience this. And so of course they got me ready, brought me out. It was nice. It was very interesting to see what the process entailed. They brought me out, presented me. Well, they didn't present me per se, but brought me out. My in-laws got to see me. They fed us. They wanted to make sure that the in-laws eat before they get either good or bad news. So if it's bad news, at least you cry, but you cry on a full stomach. You understand? It was very nice. A lot of dancing, and so the fed us, of course, fed the people, and then eventually when the king came out himself, he gave us water, which we both drank, and from a cup, same cup, and those are all symbols, of what this marriage is going to be. And so in the front part of it, and it's too bad. I hope that there'll be pictures that people can see where there were guests and all of that. It was very light in terms of the festivities. It was very light in terms of what was happening traditionally. It was very light. People were fed. We had some water. He shared some words with us. He said, don't go and embarrass me, or don't go and disgrace me. So you better go and be a good wife. You guys have to make this marriage work because we're not coming back. But that was not the actual marriage yet. So once all of that was done, I was covered with all these beautiful, is it calamite? Then they took us to the back. Now this is where it started getting interesting. I never knew about this. So they gave both of us collar knot. And he had to break open his collar knot. I had to break open my own. So when he broke open his, there were 5 pieces. When I broke open mine, it was 4 pieces. And all the winters were so happy, And they were like, yes. I was like, oh, wait, what happened? They're like, yeah, his own is supposed to be more than mine. Because if mine was more than his, that means there's a problem from somewhere. So I was like, my goodness, okay. This is my whole life almost being put on the line from this little collar knot. But that was nice. That was really nice. And so once that was done, before they gave us now the palm wine to actually drink, I think they gave us the palm wine first. They asked us now, first, if this Edwin was sure that this was the woman he wanted, explained to him that marrying someone from a royal family came with a lot of responsibilities. Is he aware? They said, are you aware, Oga, in case you are not sure? And he said he was. And then of course they asked me and said, I brought this man that I said this is my husband, this is the person I want to marry. Am I certain that this is it? Because once we drink this palm wine, they cannot come back to anything happens. Even if we get divorced, we cannot come back and undo this process. Can you imagine? Anyways, of course, we're both very aware of what we wanted. And so they gave us the wine, the palm wine. We both drank it. And then, of course, my sister who stood as my mom, his mom was there. his uncle who stood at his dad. We all had to drink it. So everybody must be in that agreement. I'm sure if something goes wrong, they'll go and call them too. Come, you drank your own palm wine. Come and tell us what happened. So we all drank. We passed it on to them, and then we did the thing with the collar knot. And I have to say, I was really expecting drama. It went so smoothly, and I'm sitting, I'm like, wait, all the stories I hear that they'll drag this stuff. What happened? Like, what's happening? And then after that, I changed into my outfit. We went out, we really danced. We went in front of our king. He gave blessings upon, blessed us and spoke some words over us. Just gave us some advice, and we celebrated. It was so smooth, and I know that could only be God. God really went ahead of us and made our path straight as he promised us in his word, because it was such a joyful ceremony. Everyone who came was so happy. We didn't even tell people because this was supposed to be very intimate, as it was the actual marriage ceremony, and we're getting to celebrate on the 19th. So the 17th was for the marriage itself, and then the 19th was to celebrate. But it was a full house. We had over 150 people. It's more than enough food to eat. Shout out to my brother Leo and his family as well for cooking all the food for people. But it was nice. It was really nice. It was that's when it became official. Yep, July 17, 2024, it became official. Edwin made a big decision to be stuck with me forever. So he calls me clingy because he's in trouble. I told him I'm clung to you forever. You cannot go back, you cannot undo it. It's just you still owe me my own share of the bride price, because the way I've been sitting for all this makeup and looking fine, you people dare that boy to come and finish my own share of the bride price. It was really nice. It was really nice.
And now we're official, and it makes it more beautiful, and I'm just like happily ever after. So it's a part of faith. Thank you. That's it.
And here we are now, Mr. and Mrs. Yonka in the building, ready to take over the world. Yes.